What's up, everybody? Glad to see you guys back here once again on the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at a really nice mid-tower case from the people over at EVGA. This is their brand new DG-77. Now they have a DG-76. It's a little bit different, a little less specs, but as far as this series goes, this is a really nice case. It's got tempered glass windows both in the front and back. The front one's actually clear, as you guys can see. The back one is actually colored Alpine white to match the design of the case. Now, this case is about $169 on the market, but it is designed very, very well. For one thing, a lot of the cases that you guys see nowadays, you go to buy stuff, it's kind of hard to choose them because a lot of them are just glitz and glam, but they're made really flimsy, or they're just flashing RGB lights everywhere, or just got some design that most people are like, what the hell is going on there? But this is actually simple and elegant all in itself. And the things you're going to really like about it is its ability to use 360 millimeter rads, both in the front and the top, as long as they're no bigger than 60 millimeters thick, and that's really cool. In the front of the case, you can use 320 millimeter fans or 240 millimeter fans, and the same thing goes for on top. Now, in the very back, there's a single fan, and when you buy the system outright, the case itself, it actually comes with 320 millimeter fans already built in, so you don't have to go out and buy any more, and the airflow and the pressure taking the air out of the system is actually perfect the way it is. But if you want to improve upon it or use radiators and make this thing a liquid-cooled system, it is ready to rock and roll right off the bat. The DG-77 sizes in at 18.78 by 8.30 by 19 inches. It also weighs about 23.35 pounds, so it's not really that heavy. And when you have the DG-77 in your hands, you guys will notice that it's very well built. Doesn't feel flimsy whatsoever. It's actually a nice, solidly built case. Now, I need to correct myself real quick. A minute ago, I said that the case comes with 3 fans. Excuse me, I was wrong. It comes with 4 fans. 420 millimeter fans come with it when you buy it off the shelf. There are 2 in the front, 1 in the back, and 1 on top. And there are also removable filters on the front and the top and on the bottom where your power supply is going to be, so you can take those filters off and clean them and make sure that your system stays dust-free for years on end. Visually speaking, taking a look at the Windows side, you guys can see that it has a nice logo saying the DG-77 right on it. You can see everything really clear, and because it's tempered glass, it's going to be very easy to clean. Now in the back, you also have tempered glass as well, but this is painted Alpine white, and it looks really, really nice. Checking out the rear of the case, on the very top is where your motherboard I/O is going to come out. Down below that are 7 expansion slots, and located on the bottom is your power supply. And you can install pretty long power supply inside this, so I think no matter which power supply you have, it's most likely going to fit. On the bottom of the case, there's also 4 standard feet. Nothing fancy, nothing that looks weird, just 4 standard feet. And last but not least, taking a look at the top of the case, we'll start from the back going forward. First off, you have a button called your K-Boost. Now what K-Boost does, it allows you to work with their motherboards and their products, and with this single button, you can instantly overclock your video card or your motherboard. So it's a pretty cool thing, especially if you're going to be doing a build that includes EVGA video cards and EVGA motherboards. The next button is the reset button. Then you have 2 USB 3.0 ports, a mic port, an audio port, and then finally the power on button. So that's the outside of the case. Let me go ahead and start disassembling it so we can check out the inside. Oh, by the way, disassembling and taking everything apart in this case is very simple to do. Everything is a simple thumb screw. You don't need any tools whatsoever. Just go ahead and disassemble the case. And one thing that I really do like about this case, and I think that you guys will agree, is the fact that you can disassemble almost this thing all the way down to its bare metal. And you might be asking yourself, well, why is that a good thing? Well, if you're going to build a system nowadays and you want the best cable management, having nothing in your way of doing so is the absolute best way to be. I mean, it just is. And these screws, you guys can see, they all come off really, really simple. There's no hassle with this at all. You can remove them. I'm just going to start disassembling it so we can check the system out. I don't want to break the tempered glass. But there we go, we'll get the glass out. Let me hand this off to the cameraman. Here you guys go, and by the way, this is tempered glass which can break, so be very careful with it. It's also probably one of the reasons the case probably cost $169. Now, so I've taken the side panel off, and internally, nothing inside of here has a sharp edge or anything that can cut you. So working inside of the case, you don't have to worry about you're gonna cut your hand or do anything like that whatsoever. Also, if you're wondering, hey man, will my cooler work in here? Well, from the back of the case to the glass is 150 millimeters of distance. So as long as your cooler is shorter than that, you will be good to go. You can also install 3 video cards in here, and you guys can see pretty much any video card that you want will fit in here. I think it's like 390 something millimeters is the length. So I mean, even large cards like the power color cards are going to be able to fit in here, no problem. There's also all the additional wiring, and right here is the EVGA logo, and this actually lights up RGB. You can also remove it if you want. You don't have to have it there. There's an option for it, but you can change it to any different color you want, which I think is pretty cool because we'll use it to match whatever the secondary color of the build is. These are all the cables and everything that you plug into your motherboard. We still have them kind of contained over here until we do the build, but honestly, there's just a lot of room inside of here. It's pretty easy to work with. Nothing that I think is really important to get in your way. Plus, once you do your build, even if you leave it the way that it is, this will be nice airflow. There won't be really anything constricting it because of the cable management. And a lot of people they go, oh, cable management. Honestly, I think cable management has become like one of the most important factors of doing a build these days. Beyond the look and everything else, if you don't have good cable management, people are going to go frown on that. And the better your cable management, there's no airflow restriction, meaning that when these two fans are bringing air in, this fan is bringing air out. If you're going to be an air-cooled system or with your radiators, there's going to be absolutely nothing in there to keep and constrict, the air from flowing through and keeping the case cool. Now, everything on this thing really disassembles. I'm just going to start just taking it apart slowly here and getting this thing out of pieces for you guys as we go along here. But like I said before, everything inside of here completely is, whoops, I dropped the screw, so I'll have to get it in a minute, but there's no problem taking everything apart. I just want to show you guys why I think this is cool on this particular case. Just bear with me a second here. I know it takes a second for me to screw these out, but let's go ahead and start taking this thing apart. So, back off. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the other glass window so I can talk to you guys about that. And this glass feels kind of trippy because it's really like a glass table. When you hit a glass table, it's got that same kind of sound to it. So bear with me, folks. I go through here and just get everything off of here for you guys. I was going to B-roll all this stuff out, but I figured, hey, might as well just do it live and show you guys exactly what it's going to be in the same time it's going to be for you to do it. So one more to go, and we'll be good to go, as they say. So let me get this last one off of here and hand it off to the cameraman again. Let's go ahead and do that. Here you go. So, as I turn the case around to the back, and you guys can see it now, we'll probably have some B-roll of this going on, but right here is where your 2.5 drives are going to go. You can also remove these. And like I said before, you can remove almost everything in here. I mean, even these things right here, you can remove, take them out. I'm not going to do that because this is too much of a hassle, but you can remove all of these different things, and there's so much room back here. And once again, no sharp edges or anything to cut you up. There's so much room back here that you can stuff all of your cables back in here and you won't have any type of problem whatsoever. We'll be bringing you guys the build next, and you'll go, why did you just do the build in it now? Well, we wanted to get this case out, show you guys what the case is all about, and then do a completely separate video showing our build and our concept for this. So let me just keep removing screws here as we get unscrewed here on Tekka tomorrow. But my point really is that this is just so really easy to take apart for anyone. And I mean, there are some cases that we reviewed that are cool, but it still requires a tool. Being able to toolishly work with your case and take everything out, I think is much nicer. For one thing, who really wants to rely on a tool? I mean, if you decide to get a wild hair up your butt one day and you want to just completely change things around, you want to be able to do it. So here's one more thing. Now, this is the very front of the case. Like I said before, removable filter. Here are those 220 millimeter fans that we talked about before. And that's pretty much as you can disassemble it without actually probably taking a hammer to it. But you can see everything is completely taken outside of the case. Now, another nice feature that this case came with is it came with the way to mount the video card vertically. That's right, vertically. I know everybody's a big fan of that, so that's what we're going to try to do. So luckily, EVGA gave us the proper bracket and the proper cable so that we'll be able to put in our card. Now, I got one of those Star Wars Edition Jedi cards. Yeah, the killer card, the Titan one. And we'll be putting that bad boy in here. And luckily, it came with this. Now, also, you get screws and everything to mount different hardware. You get a few zip ties, but to honestly do a complete, really nice cable management build, you probably need a little bit more parts than this, I'm just saying. There's also some little rubber feet, little rubber sticker feet, an additional part for your power supply. You get the manual and all that good stuff, so if you want to look up anything about it, it'll all be inside this little book right here. And that's pretty much it. I mean, honestly, the DG-77 is a very nice case. Like I said previously a couple times, it's about $169 depending on where you buy it. It's mid-tower, steel, tempered glass windows, plenty of room inside for even a 360 millimeter radiator on the front and on the top. A lot of room, 150 millimeters from the back of the case, from the back of the case to the front of the glass. So you have plenty of room for even a lot of those aftermarket huge coolers. So you're good to go there. Power supply can be completely hidden, so it doesn't matter if it's black, blue, green, or whatever, it doesn't matter because you can honestly hide it with the shroud. And if you don't like the EVGA logo, like I said, you can take that off there. And the fact that this whole case can be completely disassembled to do your build, to me is just a really great thing. I would have to say this is another Editor's Choice case here on Tech of Tomorrow. We'll be doing our build next, but if you guys want more information or just want to check out more things about this, we'll have a link down below where you can either buy a case like this or just find out more information from EVGA. I'm Eric. You guys have been watching Tech of Tomorrow. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys back in the channel for more tech and more builds.